Hey team, it is Friday and I'm Helen for YouFit Studio. I'm not shut the door, so I'm gonna have to do that in a minute. Just to make sure I don't have any interruptions of canine variety. Oh yeah. Right. Happy Friday, team. I wonder if anybody else is. If I've had that many clients go and show me pictures of where they've been today to have food. Pooja Patel, you're number one. Thank you for joining, Pooja, by the way. But I'm going to say this: you are one of 4 clients now sent me the same picture of their food today from the same premises in the Leicestershire area. Killing me. I just get concerned I'll get there, Pooja, and then we'll run out of exactly what I want to order, and then I'll be really upset that I've waited 3 months and not experienced the joy. But this is interesting because this will be interesting to see. Well, I know you've got this handled actually, Pooja. This will be an interesting one for you. It's okay, Pooja, don't apologise. I just sat here and cried tears of pure sadness. That you're showing me pictures of exactly what I would want to be eating this evening. Oh God. I mean, the effort to go tonight would be epic. However, tomorrow I'm not going to be that far from it, am I? Woo! That'll be interesting. It's just me and thee, Pooja. Just me and thee right now. It's all about balancing nutrition. You will be able to say a lot about that. Bavik has had what you usually... why would you do that? Heather, people are going to the canteen of small things that have been made smaller. I don't even allowed to say what it is on a Facebook Live or Instagram. The place of Leicestershire, of which we all very much love and is very close to you, Heather. If you've had one today, Heather... Hi Heather, have you been to where the click and collect is opened up close to you? Because, hey Kate, if you have been, I think it'll be like the lowest blow. And if you haven't, can you go please and get me one? And bring it to the meeting tomorrow. Oh no, I can't do that. I'll get in so much trouble if I just get one. Or will I? I probably will. So I'm trying to balance. I'm doing a live about balancing nutrition and I've been fasting all day. It's so good. I'm trying to balance the one fact of what I want for tomorrow as everyone's having today. Hey Nosh. Yup, this is we haven't seen this for a while. It's been a few weeks since you've seen Coach Helen having done a Friday fast. It is Friday fast day. We're all good. We're fine. Heather's We're all good. I'm not rocking and the whites of my eyes. I'm okay, people. I've just not ate for 24 hours and we're okay. I am balancing my nutrition. Because I know where I'm going this weekend. You're coming with me, Heather. I'm going to make you. It should be entertaining. What I'm really hoping for is we do the great outdoor workout, if that's happening, at Victoria Park. Yay! And we can all go. Imagine that. 49 people descending on one place for click and collect. Pray for them. Pray for that brown rice is still available. That's what we say. Oh no. Pooja, what's happened? You talked about Bubby having my meal. Oh yeah, the seal's gonna be broken on this fast soon after this. So balancing nutrition. Okay. I'm gonna try and get through this one in a straightforward manner. Because I've placed this one here a bit like I do when I do these things, because things are afoot and changing in terms of balancing nutrition. Hey Heather, yeah, you and me, we can do this tomorrow. Just don't tell anyone other than the other people watching on both Facebook and Instagram, because I have to keep it hush so I can sneak one and then not have to bring one home at the same time. Naughty. Right, so in balancing nutrition, I'm going to talk about 2 elements which are standard for any time of life, actually, to be fair, and what each person has to balance to get to a particular goal, whether it's to lose body fat, right, or weight, or to stay the same. Or in some cases those people want to gain weight, right, they exist, but those majority of people that do follow us, etc., looking to lose weight or maintain weight if they've already lost, right, which is just in itself. So 2 elements I want to talk about today, like I've talked about before, like the big technicals and the rest of it, but really what's important is 2 things, right? So 2 things we want to be talking about today is the food and the exercise. I can put a flash of terms out like nutrition and activity, But we just call it food and exercise because they are what they are, right? It is what it is. I've talked about those spades before. I can put bows on them or just tell them what they are. Nutrition, exercise, food, right? Food and exercise. It is what it is. And elements of what that means and why it's changing just in the last 24 hours, it appears, or since Tuesday. Why it's changing and how to change and adapt to that, and how people are going to change and adapt to that. So let's talk about two elements, so exercise and food in isolation to start with. Notion, you're flipping between Instagram and Facebook here. I was like, Notion's here, Notion's there. She's everywhere. I like it, Notion. You're here, you're there, everywhere. As long as you're still here. This would be important actually for everybody watching. So let's look at exercise. So I've said this before, pretty much everybody has got to the point where they're doing something regularly at this stage, right? So it's pretty much fixed. Hey Kimmy. So what's been the difference? If I look over the last 3 months in terms of exercise or activity, what's changed? I've said it before, I say it again. First section of lockdown, gone ho, Rambo, running upstairs, jumping, big jump. Hey, I'm doing stuff. I'm skipping, I'm hula hooping, I'm doing strength class and met class 7 million times a day. And then I stopped. I stopped all exercise, or very little exercise. It got rainy, I stopped walking. I didn't go outside, actually, for about 6 weeks. And then, with the support of a coach, I gently eased myself back into actually moving from the position I'd made on the sofa or the bed, and eased myself out of the dent and started moving. Now, however I look at it with any client, wherever they are at that stage, they're still not anywhere near they were before lockdown, right? They're still exercise levels or activity levels are really low in comparison. And so there's been a constant seesaw between moving and not moving, basically. If you put it down to the really basics, if you're moving or you're not during this. And now we get into the tail end. And as I said, actually, when I'm talking about balance, most people have kind of got the balance right now, as in, barring the rain, people are doing walks. They're choosing to do other stuff instead of walks. Like I've got a client who is doing squat challenge, right? So people are finding things to become active and sticking to them because they're daily goals, or they're doing consistent amount of classes. So same amount of classes each week. They've got the balance. We've kind of hit the stage where it's like there's no big announcements going on. Touch wood, right? No other big announcements going on now, other than in a positive way. So everyone's kind of on an even keel. No surprises, unless you're watching the news last night and in Leicester. More or less, right? No surprises. Everything's quite stable in that sense in terms of exercise. Everyone knows what they're doing. And so what's the outcome in terms of people managing their weight? It's stabilising, I would say, is a general rule. So it's stabilising in as much as it's maybe stabilised over a couple of weeks, and now we started looking at food and started to break it down slowly, or they've maintained their food and their exercise, and actually the ratio between the two is the same, so maintain the same weight within a few 100 grams here or there, or a pound here and there, over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Nothing drastic one way or the other, just a nice kind of, literally, a balance, right? A balance of nutrition and exercise, of food and exercise. It is balanced. Hey Jill, hey Daksha. So people have the balance right now. So why, you might say, why are you bringing it up now? Well, let's talk about the environment. Let's talk about food. I caught up with a client this morning who came into the studio, and this is what he said, and I found it hilarious. There's a great sense of humour. He said, well, Helen, my food's been a bit like the virus itself, a bit all over the place, a bit unpredictable and erratic. He said, it's pretty much madness. And we both laughed. And yet that's kind of, that actually, in that small exchange, and being that he's not actually my client, he's one of Sam's, that was pretty much standard, I think, for all clients when it came to food and behaviours over the course of the last few months, right? Gone home with Rambo in the first few weeks. I will maintain exactly the same behaviours. I am bulletproof. I have this much prep food ready before this happened that I am going to be okay. This is 3 weeks. I mean, what's going to be 3 weeks? I've got this food thing nailed. I mean, I don't even eat takeaway. Roll forward 2 months. Helen, I had 3 takeaways this week, and I had a cake for breakfast. Pretty much, right? If there's a big announcement, there was a big change in food behaviours. If there was a lack of announcement, there was a big change in food behaviours. And habits kind of stick for a bit. Now, same with exercise though, slowly but surely, as people start to stabilise with their exercise, actually, they're starting to stabilise with food choices over the last, I'd say like 5-6 weeks, really. Well, nah, maybe, I mean, I've no concept of time, let's be honest. I never know what day of the week it is, so I'm just throwing numbers now. Probably about 4 weeks, fair. Yeah, because we're, just check. It's 19th of June. So it's about 4 weeks. Side comment, I had a client today come in, another client come in, and think it was still March, literally. It was a very confusing conversation because I was like, well, it's been 3 months. She's like, no, it's March. That'll be in January. I'm like, it's June. 4 hours bad. Classic. Sidebar. So over the last few weeks, we're so few, food choices have started to stabilise, as the same with exercise. People got into a routine, accepted that this is actually how things are. They see it as this is actually my standard life. So actually I can start to work my food choices around how my life really is. And this is it. I accept it. I'm not fighting it. No emotional roller coaster. If there has been one, I'm kind of at that bottom still. I'm like, before the ride starts again, maybe. But so there's a balance with food as well, right? So again, you might ask, if food is balanced, just said it, and exercise is balanced, why talk about balancing nutrition now? Well, for those who join later on in this section, there was a few minutes, my stomach's just kicking off even talking about it. I hope no one can hear that. There was an establishment that's opened up in Leicestershire area, Leicester City Centre, today, and only, I mean, I have four of my clients have sent pictures, just 4 today. They've had more this week. Now, I know the nutritional calories of a smaller portion of this establishment. Why? Because I partake of that quite often. And I know exactly what I order, and I exactly know how to balance my exercise if I'm in normal world before I'd have one of these bad boys. I mean, they are beautiful. Say, do you want to get, I can't even get a device out to have a look at it because it's all actually in play at the minute, right? Everything's in play. However, why is it time to talk about it? Because the food element of this is about to change, right? It's about to change. The old kitchen of the grounded, I'll just say it backwards because that counts, is serving multiple people. Yes, Mira. Jesus, I should not be spreading this information. Yes, Mira, it is. On a collection only basis, right? So why is this important to start talking about this now? Because Mira Magithia, love you just jumped in there, fell into my man trap. People are not changing their exercise to balance out their nutrition. Look at me looking at both cameras at the same time like I've got crazy eyes. Bit like I said to the women who thought it was still March. What? Woohoo! I'm having that time. There you go, Mira. Well, good luck to you, my friend, because about 150 other people in Leicester ordering tonight. If you can get anything that's left, I wish you luck. Actually, you'll be all right with chickpeas and tofu. You'll be fine, Mira. You just book away, my friend. You'll be in there like swimwear. However, so roughly speaking, you're like, let's just go top of my head. You're talking about 600 calories for the smaller selection. I feel like I'm now promoting them on a major basis. It was like 5 to 700 calories on the smaller one. The larger ones go like 9 to over 1,000, depending on what you go for and what you have in, etc. So there be just one place opening in 1 week in Leicester, and the balance between exercise and food is off, right? Unless, and this is where Pooja's probably feeling a little bit smug right now. Pooja's like this, not me. Yeah, Pooja, I can hear you. I can hear you from here going. I can hear that. Oh, Hema, we're talking about balancing nutrition and food, how this is about to get severely unbalanced by the opening of not just one establishment, by the way. I'm just going to say this, and it is a very nice establishment. I am going tomorrow. I'm going to big them up. They're amazing. However, with what's happened is people's activity levels have stayed where they are. So they're not balancing that alongside what they're going to be doing in terms of their nutrition unless they're really into it. And Pooja, yes, I can still hear you. I still know that you have this in hand. Pooja would have balanced this like a mofo. It'd be interesting. I know how Pooja does it because we've got something in play for her, right? But that doesn't apply for the majority of people. So Mira's desperately already downloading the Deliveroo app. I can feel that as well. I can hear Pooja and I can also hear Mira downloading Deliveroo. And this is the first, right? Pooja's laughing because I can hear you laughing as well, Pooja. This is the first of many, right? First of many. So let's take some of the places that are opening just to talk about that because we're obviously on this quite a lot. For sure, if I check my messenger in a minute, I can see another few photos of the same place. Lucky people. What else is opening? Interestingly, way more takeaways that are ever opened before. Slowly and surely. Just the end of last week, I got a client who loves this takeaway place. I mean, loves it. When I started working together, I was having it 2 or 3 times a week, right? And she's done it for 3 months. I mean, she cried a little bit. There was some emotion at the beginning. And then it came back open last week, so I started to see the photos of it. So again, it's just a sign of where. And the thing is, she's had 3 months without it. She just, like all of us, we want the things we've not had. So Hemma's chipping in. Yeah, but I had Nando's. Yeah, I did not have Nando's. Hemma didn't, thankfully, didn't fall into that. And it wasn't as pleasant as I expected. Except no one from Nando's is watching. It wasn't worth the wait, was it? It wasn't worth the wait, Hemma. Well, it wasn't about Nando's. That was possibly about the delivery company that sent it in the wrong direction and late. Although, yeah, that put you right off. Nazarine's chipping in. Heather's KFC is the best. Yeah, the healthy version of Heather's KFC is banging. Have to be fair. But that's the point, Nazarine. You could go get the real deal. Not that Heather's isn't real. It is real food. I'm saying that when it becomes open, it becomes a choice, right? So more takeaways. More places are doing a takeaway function that didn't before, like the place we were just talking about. Where else is doing that? Hold on to your hats on this one if you weren't aware. I feel like I'm promoting stuff because now we get people going, oh my god, really, I want to go. So some pubs in the Midlands area are serving alcohol from a takeaway situation, right? There's 340 odd pubs in London and bars that are opening up the front windows and serving, right, for a takeaway function, right? It's the beginning of this kind of thing. It is starting, and again, it's only going to gather momentum. Now, I talked about it before on another live. Guess what isn't? The gyms, right? So there's I've talked about it. I talked about it being the danger zone. It really is starting. I said I predicted it coming, but it's coming a lot earlier than I thought, right? It's coming earlier than I thought because businesses, and rightly so, are opening, right, to serve and survive, right? And they're finding ingenious ways to do that, and good for them, right, for small businesses. What that means, though, is that there has to be some kind of balance for you if you're on a particular journey, for you to understand where you have to make changes and what those changes are. Because let's reiterate that, right? Those 2 options I went through, right? So I said, it's quite simple as exercise and food. Food is changing. Food is changing. Exercise is not. Okay? So let's get on to the house. I love the house. Let's not talk about, I don't think my stomach can handle it anymore. Let's talk about, Nazmi says, no thank you to the actual KFC, but yes please to Heather's KFC. Oh, Heather's gone. Oh no, she's there. Heather, compliment. Banging KFC. Coach Heather's like this. Yes. Heather, now, actually, to be fair, do you know what? Is she still here? Daksha said that she would prefer to have your bowl, Heather, than queuing with the rest of us. Emma, enjoy your peanut butter cake. Yeah, guess why I'm not eating? Emma, so I can. So how do you balance it? Case in point. Yes, there's two ways of balancing it, and it still involves those 2 elements. Now, this is where it gets tricky because people have, look, I go back to the original point. People have their exercise or activity levels are what they are at this stage. It fits with their existing routine, if they're at work, if they're at home, if they're awake, if they're asleep, right? It fits. That's why they do it. That's why it's consistent. That's why it's been the way it has been for a number of weeks. It works, right? From an exercise point of view. So there's one of two, you've got choices here. You can either accept that it needs to change because you're making different choices about your food, and that you need to find a way to either work differently or extend the amount of time you are working to make that balance, right? Because we still want a deficit between the two. We still want you to be more active than the energy you're putting in your body, right? I talked about this when I did the basic energy balance, right? So you need to be doing more to be balancing out a deficit against your energy that you're bringing in or consuming your food. Now, it's not me saying, right, you must work harder, although it kind of is, right? But it's to some degree, there's some barring anything else, right, dramatic, right, it is still about the basics, right? We still need to be it sounds horrible to say it, I'm not going to say it like that, but we still need to be active enough to warrant how much we're eating. And the thing is that with food becoming more available, that's more calorie dense, we either have to become more aware of our activity level, as I'm saying, or hey casual, hey Seth, or be more aware of our nutrition now. And this is why it's a two-choice thing, because that doesn't sit that people can do both, or it's right for them from a personality point of view to do both. Now, if somebody wants to elicit more control, if they're the controlling person, is having more understanding about nutrition or the food make more sense? Yes, because I could say, let's just check how much you're looking to consume. Like, you want a large bowl from the Leicestershire establishment, then guess what? You probably have to think about your meals for that day and possibly the day after, the size of them, etc., and what you're consuming, or make a choice to have a smaller option and still look at changing food elsewhere to allow yourself to do it. I don't need anybody else. I don't need people's calorie count. Let's just make that clear. It's about awareness. So it's about awareness of calories over calorie counting, and that's what makes the difference in terms of balancing food. So if you take anybody, and perhaps some of those clients watching as well, even for you, Pooja, if you're still here, no, Pooja is gone. Why Pooja's laughing and why Pooja could go to the establishment today is that she and I've done some work on understanding how much calories are for her, or where her barrier is, so she can make herself more aware, so she knows without again counting obsessively, she can work out and say, well, if I want to have that, and that's roughly about 300 calories, am I going to have that, or am I going to have this? Am I going to choose to have this I don't know, takeaway or points, as it might be? But it's there, right? It's there as an option. Am I going to have this, or I'm going to balance it somewhere else in terms of my food choices? And that's where, in any other time, it's probably only it's probably not as important, I would say. The challenge is because of that jet lag, because this hot zone between these choices and the choices of having more activity in a fixed location, shall we say, that's where it's a good time to start thinking about this, about what option or way do you want to go, and becoming aware of your choices. So it's not about saying I can't do these things, right? Or it's not right, I can't have these things, or I can't eat it, or I can't go. No, of course you do it. Like, the only comment I've gone to all the clients have been today is, I am so jealous. I am so jealous. Good for you. You went, you braved it, you queued 55 minutes and you got it, right? Mira's probably going to start queuing now. Mira Aditya's gone to actually start queuing. I should have warned her, it's quite a long one. So Helen's saying, I agree, Helen, I want stuff that I survive without. Yes, because you just don't have a choice. I keep saying it's mind over matter. Yeah. Is it? Or is it just accepting your behaviours? Because what happens, this would be an interesting one, because maybe you can answer this, Emma. What happens if you keep saying no? Right? Remember, willpower is not infinite. Right? You can't say no to everything forever. So Emma's saying, I do similar, so I have 2 meals next day if I have a dessert. I always apply the bank account story you told me. Yes, bank account. Ooh, yes. Good. Just jumping ahead, Emma, but I'll take it. So when talking to clients sometimes about balancing, and Emma's gone in there. Yeah, she's a bit though. It's true, isn't it? The more you say no to something, the more you want it. Oh look, Mira's still here. Mira, it's the long queue. 55. Ask Pooja. That's how long I took her. That's not bad though. If you waited 3 months, you're great for 5 minutes, right? Yes, Emma's right. You want it more. So what Emma's referred to is the bank account principle. So sometimes when it's when you want to talk to a client about or explain it, shall I explain it to you? Your balancing is like a bank account. Like if let's take a week. Say you get paid weekly, right? So say you get paid your salary weekly, and your boss goes, boom, here's your salary on Monday. All whack in your account, nice and in the back. Oh, fat hand. And I don't know, you're like somebody who's in their 20s, like I did, go out on a Monday night, and so you got £1,000. Let's just say you got £1,000, you just blow like 800 of that straight out on a Monday night. I mean, God knows where you went or when you woke up, but you woke up £800 lighter. So you got £200 now for the rest of the week. What are you going to do? Because you got to get your money nowhere else. That's it. You got £200. Good luck to you. So if I ask that to a client, they'll probably go, oh man, I'd be living off like nothing. I'd be really having to conserve that. I'd have to work out how many days there are and just think, right, we'll make sure I've got some left. Yes. Yeah, that's like calories, right? So you balance your calories. If I gave someone the whole calories on a Monday night, said, here are your calories for the week, right? Until next Monday, this is your calories. And they say, banging, I'm going Domino's. I'm an extra large. Oh, I'm gonna have that cookie dough afterwards. I mean, that isn't enough calories, actually. There probably is, but that'll be a day and a half gone, probably, if you go for the cookie dough and large pizza. Oh, if it's stuffed crust, maybe a day and a half ish, right? Pushing it. If you had the ice cream. So what would they have to do? It's the same principle that you do with your bank account. You'd have to think, right, how am I going to stay in the black here and still come up with a deficit or some money left by next Monday? I'm going to treat calories like my bank account, right? I want to stay in the black. I want to stay healthy in there. I don't end up in the reds. Nah, man. I'm going to take my calories and I'm going to make them balance through the whole of the week. So I come back at it when Helen goes, here's more of your calories. I'm still good, right? I'm nice and comfortable. I am in the black, right? So that's how, so when Helen says we talked about it some time ago, that is a way of looking at it, approaching it. So you understand that principle, and you can think of this principle actually when it comes to making choices you're all about to make when it comes to food. And we're going, I want it more. Yes. And then you've got to take some logic around it on a weekly basis almost, because when I think the biggest misconception or biggest challenge when it comes to a client thinking about balancing clients and exercise, it's almost like it's a day-by-day basis. Like, okay, so today I did this, but tomorrow's a new day, so I start again. Then it happens again, and it's a new day, so I start again. But it's not like you can say that in a harsh way. I could say the damage is done. Yeah, if I was gonna be harsh about it, but it's also true, right? So if someone has, I call it food amnesia. Because it's true, right? It's like, forget about, just draw a line under it, forget about it, move on, right? I'm not saying beat yourself up over it. What I'm saying is that it's awareness to say, actually, if I think about it, really over it yesterday. I could have food amnesia and just go, right, today's a new day, start again. Actually, if I dial in and think about it, am I as hungry as I was yesterday when I ate all that? Because if I have to ask myself that, I probably don't need to be eating as much today if I consumed so much yesterday, because actually, I'm actually quite full still. So do I need to be eating that much? Maybe it's a question to ask when thinking about it, because food amnesia is one that's for a long time clients can fall into until we start talking about the bank account scenario and balancing or tipping that balance right in the direction that you want, even, right? If you want to end up evens, yeah, you use the same principle. But if you want to end up with a real fat bank account and or losing weight, then that's the way to look at it, because you'll still end up in credit and heading in the direction you want through this period of time. It's just how you balance that, if it's with food or you balance it with exercise. Yeah, it works, Emma. It works. So Miriam's saying, I've been looking forward to this all week. I'm going to be so disappointed if they run out. But you know what, Mira? Go do it. I support you fully. I expect to see a photo. I don't know why I'm saying this. I want to see another photo today. I expect to see a photo of it, Mira. That's what I expect to see. You're going to do it. Own it. Own it. Waft it in my face from a photographic point of view. Commit. Commit, Mira. Commit. I tell you what, though, I best see the size I expect to see, unless it's going to spread over like the next 3 days of your food. Yeah, Helen got a great result from it for thinking about it like that, because it works. It works. I mean, there's other ways of looking at it. There is, absolutely. I've never said that calorie counting is bad. Calorie counting has its place, because in terms of awareness, just how much you're doing it, like how much you get anal over it, because it can be just as detrimental from a stress point of view, right? But it's good to get the knowledge, to get the insight, go, actually, okay, this is really from a size point of view in terms of meals, this is how much I can have to work towards the goal that I want. Like I said, whether it's maintenance, actually balancing and maintaining, or is it moving towards the direction where I want to lose body fat or lose weight, right? There's two different things you can get from doing those things. So, clearing up the throat, it is time to do the recap. And, you know, people comment away while I'm doing the recap. I'm always about that. Oh, I've lost the comments. Oh, that's bad. There we go. Right. So, what I did from the top is talk for a stupidly long time, a bit like the mixed grill scenario, about some food that I really want that people are going to. And then I promoted it and people are going again today. However, what I was talking about is the two elements of balancing nutrition if you're really doing it, which is call it what it is, exercise, food, right? Exercise and food. It doesn't matter if it's here, now, in this time and place, a year ago or a year from now. Those two elements are things that you can play with to get an outcome, right? Whatever you want it to be. Either balances, you stay in the same weight, or it shifts in a direction to lose weight, or it shifts to gain weight, right? It is what it is. That's the balance, right? What I talked about is what's happened over the last few months in terms of people experiencing both elements, where they've gone to with it, and what the outcome has been, as in, has it shifted in a direction of which they're not happy with, or have they got to that point, right, which most have, where they are kind of at that stage where they've discovered what fits with their life in terms of exercise, and they've discovered that actually they've kind of stabilized in terms of emotional reactions, etc., and the food is pretty much on point. And I posed the question, and you guys were asking, like, why are we talking about this then? Oh, because Takeaway Beer Hatch, the place up on Queen's Road, the takeaways, extensions, the Nando's and other chicken establishments are purely as great, of the Colonel variety, the Golden Arches, all of that is afoot and changing. And what isn't changing necessarily with people is the understanding that if one element is changing, another one has to change to allow us to balance. And it's only going to continue as we move into the next month, when we're waiting for other businesses to open. So there's a little bit of a jet lag, and that's why balancing and talking about it now is important for people to understand. So how do we balance? I talked about activity, and either you've got to own that you've got to change your routine or the way you're looking at it right now to allow that to happen, or you're looking at the food element where you're deciding on either acknowledging your behaviours, yes, but also taking time to understand your nutrition, right? So whether that, as I said, not necessarily calorie counting, just calorie awareness. So had a client do this week, and she was literally shocked at just turning over the packet, right? Just turning over the packet for something she's been eating for maybe 6 weeks before we started to get into it, and going, holy moly, Helen. I'm like, yeah, it's good to know, right? You know, it's one thing she was having as a snack was the equivalent of a whole meal almost, in terms of calories, but she was seeing it as a snack, right? So it's just that piece of actually now becoming more aware of what calories actually are as we're going into this period of time. And then Hema pipped me, because Hema's a ledge. Hema was talking about the bank balance analogy, which I use to the terms you can use with calories. So if you want to stay nice and healthy and rich at the same time, if I gave you all your salary or for a week on a Monday along with your calories, and you blew a lot of it on the Monday night by either going on a bender or eating a stuffed crust Domino's with side garlic and I think I wrote a cookie dough, didn't I, with ice cream. I mean, that's about 2 days there ish. So what would you do? You do the same to make you survive on your finances as you would for your calories. You look at ways to make sure you're still healthy and in the situation you want to be to make it through to next Monday. Same principle, right? Though again, how much you keep yourself in credit in your bank account for your finances dictates how much you can then play the next week, right? So same principle, but it's interesting, right? I've just seen Kate just comment, punt. Have you already had one? A pint in each hand, is that a good balance? It depends on a pint of what. Okay, if it's a pint of gin, probably not. But then if you're balancing on a Swiss ball at the same time, Kate, I mean, that's also doing some level of activity, right? Or if you're running with one in each hand for an amount of time, I could give you that. I will give you that. Interesting way of balancing. So, and actually, you guys and members, it's here's what I'm going to say. Certainly, if you're my client as well and you're watching, like I said, these things are there and we want them. Like everyone's like, the more you say no, the more you want it. Yes. So let's not make ourselves seriously unhappy. Talk to your coach. All right. Talk to me or Sam or Sarah. And Heather as well, right? Because Heather's got nutritional knowledge is next to none. So if somebody wants to have a better understanding, right, and know, I would rather someone say to me, Helen, I want to go and I want to have a KFC. I'm going to have it. I'm going to have that boy. And then, right, and I can work with them, and Sam, Sarah and Heather can work with you to make that place into your balance, if you want to say it, your balance from your weekly balance, to allow you to successfully have that and still stay on course. The challenge is, I think, sometimes when a client says that post afters, and I'm like, what? They've got on a massive one. It was always in plan, right? It's okay. It's just saying, right, okay, Helen, what do I do now? Or how do I balance this somewhere else? And we can put something in place. So use your coaches, guys. That's what we're here for, right? If you're not sure, I think it's just taking that little bit of ownership of saying, I want to educate myself and make sure that long term I can still have these things, and long term still go ahead and have fun, right? So it's just taking the information that's there, like, use this. I'm going to say use and abuse, but no, that's not true. You can just use the information and knowledge. No abuse, please. Save that for when we're back in play. Because that's where we're going to be in both directions. So yeah, that's me. All right. So enjoy whatever you're doing this evening, Mira Magifia. Flick their eyes and do the crazy eyes again. So she's still there. I don't know if she's there or she's gone again. I think she's literally gone to go and start. So enjoy however you're balancing over the weekend. Enjoy Father's Day as well, right? And I'll catch you on the next instalment. Yeah, laters.